How much do you know about Mississippi? Would you believe that it is a place where cryptids thrive? Let's set aside all preconceived notions and search the woods of Mississippi together. Welcome back to Mississippi Monsters, and thank y'all again for listening. I ask that y'all just please just like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now, I'm really trying to push for at least 100 subscribers by the end of September, and trying to be able to offer a little bit more, like I explained in episode 4. But I'm really trying to get established here on YouTube, so I can actually spend a little bit more time trying to move some of this stuff over to a podcast in some capacity, some format. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We've been addressing a lot of different cryptids here lately, and I've been trying to make a few videos here and there. But today I would like us to talk about a few things, or a few places that I've actually found inspiration. This is going to be different types of YouTube channels and podcasts. So y'all please stay tuned, and let's get into it. Now, one of the biggest things that helped encourage me in order to start making videos and start talking about this subject was my own personal sightings. But to build off of that, to know that I'm not alone, I love to listen to different podcasts, different types of YouTube channels, and do a lot of research on the web. But today we're going to be talking about the YouTube channels and podcasts that have really influenced me. And starting off with number one that I have really enjoyed thus far is Paranormal Roundtable. This is a YouTube channel that was established by Josh Turner and his family and friends. They helped encourage him and push him through this. And Josh Turner is just a wonderful guy. He also goes by the name of Wolf. He gives a lot of comic relief. He's very sarcastic, which I really enjoy that. I grew up with a lot of sarcasm, and it's been instilled in me at a young age, so I really enjoy when somebody else can allow them to be themselves and be sarcastic like that, and just have fun in their own manner. Now, I have to warn y'all that there is some mild language from time to time on this channel, but overall it is a great channel to listen to. Josh does a lot of great things in editing, and his the audio has come a long way since they began this YouTube channel and this podcast format, and they have done so many great things with this channel. One of the biggest things that I want us to understand is what Josh does with this channel. He recounts stories from eyewitnesses with his own personal flair, with the occasional eyewitness and special guests around the paranormal community. And Josh, he loosely defines paranormal as anything that is not normal, which includes cryptids. And I think a lot of people have a hard time trying to grasp that, is that paranormal is not just ghosts and demons and things like that. Paranormal is just anything that's not normal, and I really like that that definition, and it helps cover a vast spectrum of different things. And it doesn't tie him down into one area. He's able to address several different things, and he's able to, in his own way, connect the dots to several different things. And what I really love about this channel is that whenever Josh brings eyewitnesses on, he lets them tell their stories as it is, as they've encountered it, as they experienced it. I mean, this is how they've seen it, and they know other truth. They know no other truth except what they've experienced and what they've seen. And he doesn't try to push a narrative. He doesn't try to make people see the ways things he sees. He will give his own take on it, his own spin. But he tells people that this is what he thinks. He doesn't say this is what you must believe. He allows the door to be open for other people to make up their own opinions. And I love that type of format. I love that type of setting. And a lot of these different YouTube channels and podcasts, they don't. They give you one straight up story and that's it. And they move along, which I enjoy the stories. But Josh, he takes it to another level, and I appreciate that. And I've listened to every single thing he's put up so far on this YouTube channel. But the next YouTube channel that I really enjoy is just is more or less a story-based channel. People submit these stories into this channel, and the guy just reads it. He's starting to do some eyewitness encounters and let them talk about it. But this is none other but Dixie Cryptid. And the host is Cameron Buckner. Now, there is a little bit more language that you will find than the Paranormal Roundtable. And Cameron, he's open about it. He allows the guests to speak a little bit more freely using more creative expressions, just put it that way. But this is his channel, and this is what he chose to do with it. But I enjoy it because he's from Mississippi, just like I am. And he's able to take some different things from around the South, which is where he gets his name, Dixie Cryptid. And he just, he lets people go with it. I wrote down this, Cameron retells eyewitness accounts with his blend of personality and Southern charm. His thick Southern accent lends itself to storytelling and draws the listener into detailed accounts. He occasionally has eyewitnesses and special guests in helping bring the cryptid world into reality for his audience. And, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. Recently he's allowed this author of these cryptid books to come on and talk about how he gets inspiration from these cryptid books, and it's very fascinating. And if you love fantasy style books like this, or fantasy type stuff, I mean, you can really allow yourself to be just thrown into this YouTube channel, into these books that this author is putting out. But Cameron, he allows his audience to have a lot of freedom in their own opinions, because all he does is he throws out a story, he talks about it a little bit, he moves along. He doesn't try to say, well, this is what this is, or this is what actually would happen. He allows the story to speak for itself, a lot like Josh Turner does. But Cameron, he tries to rein in a little bit more. His Dixie Cryptid is going to be more or less focused on Bigfoot stories now, and he's actually moved his other stuff over to another YouTube channel that I don't listen to much, because there are a lot of he puts more fantastical stories out there, and I don't have time to listen to everything, so I'm just trying to list the stuff that I mainly do listen to. And whenever I started creating this, I listened to a lot of Dogman Encounters with Vic Condiff. Now, if anybody knows anything that's been going on with Dogman Encounters and Paranormal Roundtable, I'm not going to be talking about that. I'm not going to be addressing that. I just listen to things for what it is. And as Dogman Encounters suggest, Vic Condiff only talks about Dogman on this YouTube channel. He has another one called Bigfoot Eyewitness that is no longer on YouTube, but it's on a podcast, and I listen to it. I mean, what I'm trying to do is listen to stories. I'm trying to listen to encounters, and based off what I listen to is how I make up my mind if this thing actually happened or what they could have experienced. This is what I do. But the thing about Vic Condiff, what he does is every single time he gives he puts up a video or a podcast, it's an eyewitness giving their encounter. Now, however, I know some things have come to light about this, but you make up your own mind if you want to continue listening to it or not. I do from time to time, depending on how much time I have, because I want to learn. That is my main goal in all this cryptid research and cryptid listening on YouTube. Is I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to figure out what else is out there. But another channel which is really good that since I love the research aspect of it, is a channel that Josh Turner helped put out with Ryan Tremblay, a Whisper to a Scream. Now, there's only a few videos put up out there, but the thing is, as you listen to these videos on YouTube, Ryan Tremblay does a lot of great work on the research side of it. He is very knowledgeable. I mean, this guy, he knows what he's talking about based off what he has found out. He's not going to comment on anything that he hasn't researched, and that's hard to find on people that have these personalities on all these different types of podcasts and channels, is knowing when to keep your mouth shut. And Ryan, he does that, and he will tell you well, I don't know too much about this subject. I don't know too much about this if this pops up. But anytime they do a video, he's prepared to talk about what they have decided to talk about that night. I mean, he knows his stuff. And then Josh kind of adds stories along the line of the same topic they're talking about, and things that have been passed to him by other people, and he's able to relate to some of these things that Ryan has actually researched, and it ties in so well. Josh with his sense of humor, and Ryan with his his honest research, they lend themselves so great together, and I really enjoy these videos because Josh lets the story speak for itself, and then he adds his own little sarcastic tone to it, which I love. And then Ryan, he lays out the research. He tells you what he knows, what he has done, what he doesn't know, and it's a great channel that I love listening to. The next one is one of the very first ones that I really got into, and it's the very first YouTube channel that really started speaking out to me on the cryptid side of it, and that's the Dark Waters channel. The guy goes by Dark, and I really didn't spend a lot of time going into it because I don't listen to it no more. But it actually allowed me to start understanding that there are certain things out there. I mean, it's the one that exposed me to what's been going on in Taylor, Mississippi for the last several years. But the thing is it's designed for a more mature audience. Dark, whenever he speaks, he speaks his mind, and that goes along with a lot of cussing. It's more of explicit language than you'll find on these other YouTube channels, and if you're into that, this is a great channel to listen to for several different reasons. But I've had to get away from it because I don't enjoy hearing cussing like that, but the stories are great, and I enjoyed it at my time listening to it. That's just my own personal opinion, but I know there are several thousands of people that enjoy Dark and his content, and hey, if that's for you, that's for you. Now, I started really moving away from the YouTube side of it on a lot of times whenever I'm working, because there are places that I have to go to that doesn't have cell phone service, that doesn't have Wi-Fi connection, so I had to listen to a podcast. Now, so I got an iPhone, so I listen to a lot of it on the iPhone podcast channels. And so what I do is I download the videos or the podcasts that I want to listen to, and I listen to them. And I've actually been able to listen to a lot of different things. And one of the very first podcasts I listened to, as I've already mentioned, was the Bigfoot Eyewitness with Vic Condiff. And I'm listening to a bunch of those, a lot, if not all, of the videos or the podcasts that he put up on that podcast. I've listened to several hundred of them. But next one that I actually got introduced to, while just looking through the recommendations, which I am so happy I did, was Bigfoot Terror in the Woods. This is a brother, I guess you would call it two brothers going at it, just talking about everything that they possibly can. And the Bigfoot Terror in the Woods, these podcasters are W.J. Sheehan and Kevin Sheehan. And these are two brothers that they keep on saying that they're spread out over 600 miles away from each other. And it's really cool that they can still connect when they're that far away, doing Skypes, doing different types of sessions to make this podcast happen. I know, speaking personally, this is a great podcast that I really love listening to. It's roughly about an hour long, each one is, but I like the way they do it. They break it up in like 3 different segments. They talk about the different things that's in the news that's happening right then. They talk about different Bigfoot encounters, and they go wherever it takes them after that. Just the flow of it, two brothers talking together and just having a fun time. It's really, really a good podcast to listen to. You can lose yourself in it. And I download several episodes, and when I'm working, I just let it flow. I let it go from one podcast to the next one, and just these, how WJ and Kevin Sheehan, they just allow themselves to just be carried along with the topics they're talking about. It's an easy listening to channel or podcast, and I really like it. And WJ, he actually has authored several books. That's the same as the title of the podcast, Bigfoot Terror in the Woods, and he actually has volumes, I believe, 1 through 8 or 1 through 9 out, and I know for a fact 1 through 7 is available on audiobook, and I'm actually trying to, I'm going to go start buying those so I can listen to those audiobooks, because I love stories and I want to find out as much as possible. But the last but not least, the last podcast that I listened to, that because I'm able to download it, is Sasquatch Chronicles by Wes Germer. Now, this is a very good podcast that I enjoy listening to, and he talks to eyewitnesses also, and he allows the eyewitnesses a little bit more free reign, especially with on the language side. So it does come with a caution, occasional mild language warning. So just be prepared for that. But he mainly focuses on the subject title of his podcast, which is Sasquatch. But from time to time, he'll talk about the fringe topics like the Bermuda Triangle, UFOs, and things like that. And just kind of like, I guess, to get you interested in other things. But I love that he sticks to what he knows, which is the subject of Bigfoot. But he addresses those little bitty things off to the side as well to allow people, their mind to just to realize that it's not just Bigfoot that we need to be thinking about, which is, I think, is very fascinating. But those are the main ones that I listen to day in and day out. And those are the ones that have allowed me to get the nerve up in order to start my own channel. And I appreciate all these people that are doing all this great work, doing the research, allowing the stories to be told, allowing a platform for people to just to get the burden of these experiences off their shoulders, and being able to explain a little bit more thoroughly what this could be. We talk about Ryan Trimley doing the research and knowing the stories behind the stories. It's awesome. And then Cameron Buckner, Josh Turner, Vic Condiff, and the Sheehan brothers and Josh Germer, allowing people to come to them and explain what has happened to them, and just being able to be themselves in the process. I can understand it as such a relief. I mean, I had to carry around the burden of my experiences for years when everybody was trying to ridicule me. Just being able to have a community that you can just talk to and come together and get these things off your chest is just, it's liberating. And that's one thing that I really appreciate these channels offering, a place to be able to do just that. But I'm kind of getting close to 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all be. Just remember, there are boogers in those woods. Y'all have a good night.